This
Oh,
is
man.
VT Corner, everyone's favorite segment of College Football Monday. Virginia Tech beat Cal 42-34 in double overtime. It happened right in front of our face, Sam.
Mhm.
And the twists and turns of this game, it's hard to even know where to start. Tonight will be more like how we were feeling during the day, kind of a vibes
Uh-huh.
based reaction. We'll do a little bit more of the stats stuff. Of course, there will be some stats tonight, but so much happened during the day. So much happened in the game, the sights, the sounds, the feels of Friday night. We got to see so many people. I got to tailgate with your wonderful family, which was awesome. They put on a great tailgate for us. And it was the most gorgeous fall day we could have ever asked for in Blacksburg.
Like chef's kiss, the quintessential, if God's not a Hokie, then why did the leaves turn orange and maroon every football season? Absolutely stunning by Southwest Virginia. Came to play.
And G-Fed, who does the videos of like 100 stadiums in 100 days, he was at Virginia Tech for this game. He said something similar, like the colors of our uniforms and like gear with the leaves in the background, it just like it all kind of
It's
just
so perfect. It's
meshes
so
so well.
perfect.
So that was cool that he
Mhm.
was there. Warren Sharp was there too in the stadium,
I have
apparently.
no
Like
idea why Warren Sharp was there, but shout out to him. He's a great
he
follow on Twitter.
he's a big NFL follow if you guys aren't aware who Warren Sharp is.
Mhm.
And then all the CFB people like David Hale, Brett McMurphy, they seemingly were watching. Like a lot of people that are involved in our what we love the most, college football, were watching this game, into the game, commenting on it, tweeting about us. Hank from Barstool was in town and drinking rails. Like
Yeah, a few of them. Yeah.
yeah, so it was cool. It seemed like it oddly had a ton of attention on it. As for the game itself, we'll talk a little bit more about our experience as we go, but the game got off to a great start for the Hokies. We had the early sack by Copeland. We took a 7-point lead on a nice first drive, the touchdown to Aiden Green. We added the field goal. We're up 10-0. But then Cal ripped off 20 unanswered points, like JKS, Raphael, bad tackling by us. And it was 20-10 at the half. Our offense disappeared. We had a punt block, just bad, bad, bad. Like it just, nothing went right. We said goodbye to your parents and sister, and we're like, we're going to
Mhm,
walk over to the other
mhm,
side of the stadium. We're going to meet the boys. Maybe
mhm,
we'll change the juju, whatever.
mhm.
We got a field goal to start the third quarter. We get the strike to Heath for the tying touchdown. That was a 44-yarder. We stopped them again. Defense was playing so well. And we were driving, and Drones throws that pick in the end zone. And that was like, oh, another like 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing. Cal started to mess with the ball. They were having snapping issues, and
Mhm.
that kind of helped us out a little bit. Drone scores to make it 27-20. And that's when you really start to see like that on that drive, like we were just like running through an MFer's face. Like
Yeah.
that was an awesome drive. Cal drives back down the field. We hold them on third down. And that's when we made that awesome hit, Sam. Do you know the one I'm referring to? Where like we literally plant JKS's ass directly into the turf on a clean sack and they throw the penalty. And we were both apoplectic.
That was like I'm gonna do some research on Roughing the Passer for Wednesday's show. So stay tuned for that. I think it is a disgrace to the sport what they've done with their Roughing the Passer rules and how they have allowed officials to seemingly determine games by giving them carte blanche on 15-yard penalties.
It's like, that one looked too hard. So we're
It-
going to call it roughing the passer.
and it doesn't even apply to any rule. It's just it's not reviewable. And if the ref decides they want to do it, there's no checks or balance for that. If the
No.
head official throws that flag, and look, Tim Hedgepeth has been a thorn in the ACC side for years. It is not just this
He's a
game. It
joke.
has been a long
He's a
time.
disgrace.
Him throwing that flag is the least surprising thing of his career, his sorry, pitiful little refereeing career. And they tried. The refs really, really tried at the end of this game, and it didn't work for them. I give shout out to the replay officials in Charlotte for not bowing down to the BS targeting calls they tried to call. And
Yeah.
I think it is just one of those games where the officials tried to input themselves into the game, a great game, a well played game by both teams. And I think justice is served that it didn't happen. And I think
Yeah.
it's a really good job by Virginia Tech to keep going after it and use it as motivation because if anything, the team kept playing harder because of it. And
It's so true, man, because
yeah,
after that roughing, like they scored on the next play. And that
yeah,
is devastating. I in the stands, me and you were like crushed over that, pissed, but crushed. And it's like that could just demoralize a team. But it didn't. And we had a potentially winning kick go off the upright shortly thereafter. Then it's Cal's turn. They get the huge passing play, more penalties, and they get a chance to kick a field goal as time is expiring. Wide right. Wide right with the view of like the shirtless boys in the stands, right? Like just gorgeous. We are going absolutely nuts in the stands. It goes to overtime. They score in one play. It's like, oh, great. But Drones drags a dude into the end zone for the tying score in overtime. And then he follows that up with the pass to Heath, which was not a good pass, but an incredible effort on the catch by Takai Heath to take the lead. Drones runs in the 2-point conversion. We got an 8-point lead and we hold them. They had another negative play. That might have been another bad snap. I can't exactly remember in the second overtime. Incomplete to end the game. You're waiting for the flag. Like you're just waiting for the final flag.
yeah.
We're all just like, no one even was ready to celebrate when it went over because it's like, is there going to be flag? No flags. It's like Hokies win. And it was such a euphoric feeling. Let's wait on the reaction from the stands. If you, just on the game itself, and we'll go to our reaction. You look at the totals, the numbers of this game. It shouldn't have been close.
No. I mean, Virginia Tech thoroughly outplayed Cal for the whole game. I think there was that one little spell in the second quarter where Virginia Tech special teams really hurt them, and special teams hurt Tech all night. Right? You had a punt blocked because there was just zero protection. Then you had another earlier in the game. You had another bad punt. It was a line drive punt that led to a big return to one of their best players and Jacob DeJesus. Why you're punting to Jacob DeJesus, I'll never understand. But for some reason,
all night, man.
We're a very poorly coached special teams program right now. Very, very poorly coached.
Surprising.
I know, right? We've been calling for that for 2 years now. And then you have the missed field goal. And then you also have Cam Seldon catching the ball, toe tapping it Terrell Owens style and falling out of bounds at the 1 yard line. Like Virginia Tech had a lot of bad special teams plays. They had some bad tackling. Defensively, they got caught pre-snap. Like, Cal would have 3 wide receivers. They'd have trips to the field side, and Tech would only have 2 DBs over there. And they're just like, okay, we'll just throw it over there. That happened a lot in the second quarter, but they corrected that. And once they corrected it, the game wasn't close. I mean, it was a blowout after that. So it was that one, I would say, 10-minute period of the game, maybe more, right, between the end of the first quarter and about midway through the second quarter. Outside of that, Tech won probably 3/4 of the game.
Yeah. We outgained them by a ton. We only had 1 turnover. We were 50% on third down.
Yep.
Our yard per rush advantage was insane. But we just, it's so typical, man. I mean, we just made so many dumb mistakes. Yes, the refs were a huge problem, and the call on the roughing the passer was universally said that it was bullshit.
I've never seen a call so universally hated,
right?
By non-tech
so we all know that was a joke. He got up in the air and they brought him down. So I guess they thought it was like launching. Who the hell knows what they were thinking? Because it's a horrible call. And but yes, we still made what we did against Wake. Like we made 1,000 mistakes. We dropped passes, multiple special teams screw up, the interception in the red zone, the block punt, the field goal off the upright. Like it never ends, man. It never ends. And yet we played so well outside of those mistakes and the 10 penalties that were called that we managed to win the game in overtime. And considering the opponent, was this Kyron's best game maybe ever? I think it was the best game this year.
No, this year, yes.
Okay.
I think he's had some better games. I think throwing the ball, there's still just some, it's never going to click in some ways. Like I think at one point to start the game, he was like 1 of 5 with 4 throwaways.
Yeah.
Like it's
Well,
just
that was a
yeah,
very good secondary. It was we knew
that's a
that.
good secondary. Yeah.
It's a very good secondary, and he was only 9 of 18 passing. But what he did on the ground, the 5 total touchdowns in the game, and
Yeah,
like
he
keep in
should have
mind, one
had
of his receiver did drop it on
drop
the
it.
end zone. Yeah,
I mean, Takai Heath had to drop on what would have been like a 20-yard pass. It hit him in the chest. And then another pass that was dropped in the end zone that should have been a touchdown. So, well, I think he had a very good game. I think when he gets in a rhythm running the ball, it completely changes who he is as a quarterback.
mm-hmm.
Like, completely changes it. And we talked about this with Monty beginning of the season. Like, what kind of offense are we going to get? Are we going to get air raid? Are we going to get ground and pound? What are they going to do? And I think in some ways we've kind of seen neither. Like, they haven't really figured it out. And it does feel like in the second half of the game, they finally figured out what works.
Yep.
Now, Cal is a bad tackling team. We talked about that in our game preview. Like, they have not tackled well, especially their defensive backs don't really tackle well. Tech finally found that mismatch and used it. And I'm really freaking glad they did because it won them the game.
Yeah, Monty and the offense at the end of the game more or less did what we wanted. It was 18 passes, and it was how many rushes? Like 40 some.
It had to be close, yeah.
I had to look it up, but we had 357 total rush yards, 167 for Hawkins, 137 on the ground for Drones, 6.2 yards per carry as a team. No negative attempts for Hawkins or Stewart. Now, there was a close one in the end zone for Stewart that looked like he was going to get brought down for a safety. No dice. You know why? Because all that man does is break tackles.
That's all he does.
But not a single negative attempt for the 2 running backs, and just unbelievable production in the run game. Virginia Tech even put out the tweet today that was like, "We heard you," and it was like, "Run the ball," something like that. Did you see that?
It was awesome. I think Marcellus Hawkins having a game like that was just so refreshing because if Tech would have just had another like Terry and Stewart runs through an MF first face game like they did against NC State, I could have would have felt like, okay, this team really isn't that good, but they just have one player who's really, really good.
Yeah.
For it to be another player, because like, oh shoot, like this team does have some guys on offense. Like Aiden Green had a nice touchdown catch. We didn't really see much of any other wide receiver because they'd throw the ball a lot, but to have some other guys do some things was really, really cool to see. And yeah, he's putting the ball in the end zone. This team isn't scoring a lot of points, but he's doing it. We're not going to do that, Brendan.
Someone said for a good time, look at Josh Allen's college career stats and compare them to Kyron's. I mean, look, Josh Allen was very inaccurate in college. It was talked about a lot leading up to that draft. And it was like, can he make this throw? But look what every throw that Josh Allen can make. I don't know if Kyron can make those throws.
I don't think so.
But that's beside.
But I will say he has so many tools. You have to just catch him on a good day. And like if Tech gets a good day against Louisville, if it's a good Kyron day against Louisville,
I mean,
who the heck knows how that
it can swing the game. But like if Kyron goes for 130, we're probably winning the game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when he's doing that, it means it's opening it up for the other 2 backs. And if Terrion's continuing to get healthier, like Terrion went for 174 earlier in the season. We have 167 from Hawkins. That's ridiculous to have 2 guys on the same team that are capable of that.
Yeah.
In conference games.
Another thing with Kyron, Tech had 7.67 yards per drop back in this game. So that includes like incomplete passes being a 0. So when they did throw the ball, they got some chunk plays out of it. They had 4 explosive plays while passing in this game. So they were throwing the ball downfield and getting a few more explosive plays in this game than we normally have seen. We've seen a lot of the quick, like scripted play stuff has been a lot of his completion so far this year. Had a little few more stuff downfield. Throw to Aiden Green was really good because you have one-on-one coverage, throw it up to your guy. It's worked pretty well for Tech this season.
The heart that Kyron showed was really nice to see in the face of there was adversity. Like there was tons of adversity. 55 total rushing attempts was the total. Yeah, I should have had that number in front of me. Thank you, Jason. That's a lot of rushing. When you run the ball 55 times or over 50 plus, I think Tech has like an insane record because it usually means you're winning by a lot. But in this case, it just meant we were performing well in the run game. Defensively, Rafael and De Jesus were a problem for us. Ulave, that dude's a stud. He was a problem. But that I'm talking about their defense at that point. But on our defense, they really played an outstanding game overall. If it weren't for the referees, like we probably would have dominated. I mean, there were some holes, and you mentioned some of the matchup stuff, but Copeland, Gilliam, Heisman, those guys were
All
sensational.
three had amazing games. Yeah. I mean, Copeland was playing edge rusher in overtime. Right. And I really thought it was good by Sam Sifkas playing that like 3-4, 3-3-5 defense. I do think gave Sangapolutele some issues. And Copeland was they had to double team him every single play towards the end of the game. That opened it up for Heisman and other guys and Ben Bell and stuff to go out and make plays. I think they got beat pre-snap a few times. I mean, we were looking at it, screaming at the field, hey, they have 3 guys in Cal uniforms and we got 2 guys in Virginia Tech uniforms. That seems like a problem. Few too many of those, but overall, like that's a good quarterback. They have some playmakers on offense. Tech did a good job in this game. Considering the field position too, I mean, Cal's average starting field position was their own 47. They averaged starting on midfield. Yeah. So only giving up, what did you give up? Only giving up 27 points in regulation when their average starting field position was midfield. You take that.
I have a lot more respect for Sangapolutele than I did before the game. Like I saw what he had been doing lately, and he was struggling. That kid's tough, man, because we were putting his ass down, and he was getting up. He's bigger than I thought he was. Like looking at him from field level, like he's real big. And man, he's gonna go out and beat UVA next week. Pretty confident of that. As long as he can walk.
He's a legitimate like 4 or 5 star quarterback recruit.
Yeah.
And he was a high end 4, I think. He had us throw on like I don't know if it was exactly a slant route. Maybe it was just like an in route, but like he threaded the needle between 2 guys, threw it on a rope, and you were just like, whoa. Like that was a big boy throw.
Yeah.
He has some of that in his game. His wide receivers didn't help him out much in this game, but I also think he has a little bit of that freshman quarterback who probably threw to a lot of wide open wide receivers to his game, where he kind of floats the ball a little bit and like expects his guys to just run under it. And then all of a sudden a DB comes and gets in the way or gets a hand in their face, something like that I think he has to get a little bit better at. But you can see the tools, man. He's athletic. He's got a big arm, quick release, does a lot of good things for you.
The stands, our experience in that second half as fans, taking in the ending in the first row, second row, we had taken over some seats because, like we said, a lot of people did leave. Because as we walked over around, so we passed a sea of people walking out, just an ocean of people walking out the door. Now, you look at it on television, there were still a lot of fans there, but like at the end of the game, Sam, what are you talking, like a third full?
Maybe. I mean, East stands was still pretty full.
But the seat backs also make it look a little bit more full than
people will say like, oh, you guys stay for the whole game, stay for like it was cold. Tech literally gave up 20 straight points to end the half, and they looked like they'd quit.
You're talking about the students specifically right now.
I mean, everybody. Okay. Like this team looked like they had quit.
They did. And they did. Yeah.
And I don't blame, after the season they've had and how that game was going, I don't necessarily blame people for saying like, I'll catch the second half, at Hokie House.
And if you're a student, because GFed put out the tweet, like, I've never seen a student section get decimated this bad. And that's unfortunate. But like the students that are there now have seen virtually nothing good. Like they've seen nothing good. They've seen us get smoked by Vanderbilt in the second half, smoked by ODU. Like they see, and that first half, the end, when they rip off 20 unanswered points, Cal does. What what does that inspire to a student that's trying to have some fun on a Friday night? So like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to defend leaving the game early. Everyone is raised differently in terms of games. Like my dad never wanted to leave a game early. Like, Philly's going to be getting pounded. We're going to stay till the end and sit in traffic. Not every family's like that. Not every kid subscribes to that at a college game where they have a very loose affiliation to the team in their freshman year. But if the team actually plays better, you're not going to have that happen. Like we're 2-5 going into that game. Like what do you want? But for the fans that did stay, the shirtless mob in the north end zone, that to me really made up for it, because the fans that were there were the diehards, dude. They were
Mm-hmm.
they were tech till we die, as we have recently put on a t-shirt. And that's what kind of made it special. And to be with the crew we were with on more or less field level, it was awesome, dude. And David Hale praised the fans. Like he said, the ones that stayed, like it was a beautiful thing. They were fantastic all night. And as I said at the end of our recap, it really was a euphoric feeling, which can seem a little silly with with just beating Cal.
I
Like
mean,
what how did you feel in terms of that kind of meta part?
Billy Ray was with us. He was like, I want to win this game more than anything on earth. Like, I want this game so bad. And I've kind of felt the same way, because what I'd heard from people who have been to games and me being into games this year and last year, whatever, it kind of sucks when you have the beautiful weather, the great tailgate, you're with all your friends, you're having a great day, and then the team goes out and like lays an egg. And that's happened way too many times the past 4 or 5 years, like since COVID, pretty much.
Yep.
Like it does feel like since that UNC game to come back from COVID, we've had so many of those. Yeah, it was a great day, but the Hokies lost. And it's like,
There's always a yeah, but
yeah, to finally get one and like to see the team have that a double digit comeback in the second half and to win in double overtime. It did feel very euphoric. It felt very, very cathartic, and it felt very like I wouldn't say like a turning point, but almost like a validation for a lot of fans.
And as for like who we beat, first of all, Cal was 5-2. I know it's a little bit of a fake 5-2, but very much more than a 500 team. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are sometimes, though. They could have been anybody. Like they could have had a losing record. But if you're coming back from 10 points down and you go to double overtime and the tension is so high for 30 minutes plus, because the end of regulation felt like overtime with the freaking field goals, you want to win. And when it seems unlikely, it makes it so much better, so much more sweet. And it did seem unlikely with the way the season has gone for us, especially after the roughing call, especially after the field goal. But they did it. And Friday night is why we all drive all the way down there over and over for a night and an outcome like that. That's why we go to the games, man. Like for exactly that. For our buddies jumping all over each other every time something good happens, spilling beer, screaming till our throats hurt, which I know that was the case. Like my throat was throbbing on the drive home.
When I got back to the hotel, I like was struggling to breathe, and my lips are still chapped. Like I'm still getting over this. But I will say this, like I hope this serves as an example of like to not only the team but the fans, everything, of like why you don't give up in a game and like why you keep going, because we had praised this program for so long of like they don't quit, like these guys don't quit, and then we saw it this year and that was really demoralizing. Like it was tough for us to come on here and talk about a team who we know mentally and physically checked out mid game. Like that was tough. And to see them say like, oh, if we don't do that, this is what can happen. Really, really refreshing. Fires me up. I'm excited about it. Like now I'm excited to go play a top 20 team in Louisville next week.
Yeah. And the multiple Enter Sandmans at the end where we're like jumping and kind of like the moment is building. It was similar to the Miami game in 2011, right? Even though it was a
Mhm.
lot less people in the stands, like that's what it felt like. That extra Enter Sandman, like the people getting pumped up, the tenseness of the situation. And then you get the moments where the silliness and the community of all the dumb stuff we were doing in the stands and loving on each other. It's like that is priceless. It is absolutely priceless. And I am so grateful for like the fellowship of what Sons of Saturday has brought me in my life. And Friday was the epitome of that. We had so many
Mhm.
buddies in town from all different places all over the country that didn't know each other a few years back. And we're there watching this game with a great crew. And it was a night I'm going to remember for a really long time, if not
Oh, it's
forever.
up there.
It
It's
was
up there, man.
special, dude. It was really special. So shout out to everyone who was there, and shout out to the listeners, Chris and Paul, who came out to Sharkies, and my longtime listener friends, the Berlins, who watched the end of the game with us. And it was great because we've seen each other at a million games, and there might have been a win or two in there, but we've lost a lot of games when we've seen each other. And so we're at the game, we're like, we did it. We finally won a game where we saw each other. It was there were so many little things like that that just made it better, man.
Can't wait to talk about it again on Wednesday, Pete.
Yeah, we'll save the rest of some post game stuff for Wednesday and go into deeper of what we saw on the stat sheet and what Louisville has to offer, because that is going to be an interesting game. Let me take this time to say that College Football Monday is brought to you by Jack and Coke. Two legends, one can, Jack and Coke. Pat had a Jack and Coke with him in the stands. Maybe an illegal entry, but boy, oh boy, did it come in handy at the end of that big win. The number one cocktail in the world is now available in a can: Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey and Coca-Cola, or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. You can also get Jack and Vanilla. You can get Jack and Cherry. And you can even get the variety pack where you get the original, the cherry, and the vanilla all in one box. It really is a great product. Two legends, one can, Jack and Coke, ready to drink. And when you're drinking those Jack and Cokes at the tailgate, in the stadium, at home on the couch, remember to please drink responsibly. Whew, that was fun, Sam. That was
Let's
a
do it
lot of
again
fun.
sometime.
Yeah, I